Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos and on this video this morning I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So this is your transfer daily show, keeping you up to date of what players are linked with Manchester United and that. And obviously, I do this on a regular basis. So on this video, I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information regarding Bruno Fernandes. Also going to give you some big news regarding Koulibaly, and these lots of other things to talk about. But the first topic of the development I'm going to start with is Bruno Fernandes. So I was reading reports yesterday, and it does say that the transfer deadline has been set for Bruno Fernandes. So we have to sign Bruno Fernandes by Friday 12 p.m. if he is to make his debut against Liverpool this Sunday. But I'm very, very sceptical, that we will sign Bruno Fernandes by Friday. I still believe that, we are going to sign him, but I just don't think we'll sign him by Friday. Because I think, Sporting Lisbon are determined to play Bruno Fernandes in their game against Benfica this Friday. And obviously, Sporting Lisbon and Benfica, you can say is the biggest game in Portuguese football. So I don't see that happening. But like I said, Bruno Fernandes to Man United is looking very, very imminent. So it's looking likely he's going to be our first signing in this January transfer window. And he's going to be our fourth signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. It does say, that the personal terms and that have been agreed. It says, Bruno Fernandes will sign a contract with Man United until 2025. So it is around a 5-year deal. And he is set to cost us in the excess of around £60 million. Sporting Lisbon I do want around £60 million. We are determined to pay that. I think, we have to pay around, is it 50 or £51 million up front, and he's around 9 or £10 million in add-ons. I was reading Sky Sports yesterday as well, and it did actually, say that, negotiations are still going on, between Man United and Sporting Lisbon. But it said, both clubs are apart from their valuations. Reportedly, Sporting Lisbon have demanded Marcus Rojo as part of the deal. I think we would be determined to let Marcus Rojo go as part of the deal. We initially got Marcus Rojo from Sporting Lisbon back in 2014 for around £16 million. Sporting Lisbon said, if they can't get Marcus Rojo as part of the deal, they may try get another one of our players. There's also been talks of Andres Pereira going as part of the deal. And I think Andres Pereira, is another one of the problematic players at the football club. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes has already informed Sporting Lisbon that he does want to leave, to rejuvenate his career. Simon Stone from the BBC, he came out a couple of days ago, and like I said, BBC and obviously Sky Sports are two reliable sources. It says, that Man United have held face-to-face negotiations with Sporting Lisbon, regarding Bruno Fernandes. But yeah, it's looking very, very imminent, that he's going to be coming in, to the football club. Don't forget, Tottenham have been in for him. Reflecting back last summer, Tottenham were in for him, Liverpool were in for him, Man City were in for him. But we was relentlessly, linked with Bruno Fernandes last season, and we was relentlessly, linked with him last summer. The main explanation why we didn't get Bruno Fernandes last summer is because, we didn't put an official bid in. And plus, we was not determined to meet Sporting Lisbon's valuation, but he is now our number one priority target. Obviously, as it did report last week, it was last Friday, saying, that the Sporting Lisbon president, Federico Fernandes, and Bruno Fernandes' agent, they had flown to England for negotiations. So they come to the club offices, with negotiations with Ed Woodward. And obviously, Solskjaer the other week, so too Mike Phelan, they'd flown out to Portugal to watch Bruno Fernandes in action. So in that aspect, that had fueled more speculation up. But he is predominantly an attacking midfielder. He's 25 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. And Solskjaer did reveal that he still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players into the football club. But I do believe, we are seeing Bruno Fernandes as an adequate replacement, for Paul Pogba, because I'm still very convinced that Paul Pogba wants to leave the football club. But we look very exposed in that midfield now anyway, and it gives me more of an element of concern, with Pogba being injured, and of course Scott McTominay now being injured. But I'm excited, about the process. I'm excited about the prospect, of Bruno Fernandes coming in. But his move to Man United, should be officially announced sometime this week. If it isn't officially announced this week, it should be announced sometime next week and that. But Bruno Fernandes, has had a good couple of years in Portugal with Sporting Lisbon. I think he's done really, really well. He's currently now into his third season with them. Don't forget he extended his contract term in November of last year. That had probably been reflecting on his good run of performances. And I think he also did well in Italy, when he was younger, because when he was younger, he spent the entirety of his career in Italy. From a Sporting Lisbon perspective, they'll be happy because, they know how much of an imperative player he is, but, they're going to generate quite a bit of money for him, and plus they're going to make a huge profit on the player because Sporting Lisbon got him for next to note from Sampdoria. I think they only paid around £7 million to him, but I'm very, very confident that Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United, can replicate, what he has done in his couple of years with Sporting Lisbon. So yeah. So if we can sign him by Friday, then, he can make his debut against Liverpool. When we do officially sign him, his shirt number will be revealed. I think he currently wears the number 8 at the moment for Sporting Lisbon. But, we need more than Bruno Fernandes. I think we need to try and make at least one more signing after we sign Bruno Fernandes in this January transfer window. Solskjaer does feel as though that, we have got the resources, to spend a substantial amount in this January transfer window. Also take into account in the summer. But it's just very essential that we do recruit the right calibre players to Manchester United, because obviously, want to get back to being a competitive elite level football club and want to be up there challenging for major honours. But even though we have been inconsistent for the vast majority of this season, and we've been inconsistent for the last 6 or 7 years, I still feel as though that, we can attract players to the elite level because overall we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world and we are the most successful team in England, historically. So we'll give you the news now regarding Koulibaly from Napoli. Now, I haven't spoken to you about Koulibaly for so long now. Obviously, Man United were relentlessly, linked to him last summer, Koulibaly. I've just been reading some reports. I think I read it in the Sports Bible and it's been in a few other media outlets. Whether this is true or not, I do not know, but I'm just going to give you my own perception of what I think of what's come out and that. So, according to these stories regarding Koulibaly, obviously, coming out from Italy, they're stemming from Italy, but this is stemming from an Italian journalist, and I think he's actually told, is it Italian TV, that Man United have allegedly agreed a deal to sign Koulibaly, not in this January transfer window, in the summer. It says, he will cost us in the access of around, £64 million. Now, as you all know, Koulibaly is a centre-half. Obviously, we already got a centre-half in last summer, with Harry Maguire, because we paid £80 million for Harry Maguire. Obviously, he's the most expensive defender in the world. He's the second most expensive signing at the football club, just behind Paul Pogba. And you can say he has addressed our defensive deficiencies in that, but we're still struggling, to keep clean sheets, despite the fact, that we did recommend Harry Maguire in. And, I would be excited about the prospect, of Koulibaly, playing alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. I think, Lindelof, blends in really, really well with him. But obviously, Koulibaly is totally a comparison to Lindelof. Lindelof obviously is not on, Koulibaly's level. But yeah, it does say, this is from an Italian journalist, that Man United are determined to pay around £64 million for him. Obviously, reflecting back last summer, Napoli were reluctant to offload him. You know, I think we'd have had to pay probably around maybe over £100 million, you know, last summer to convince Napoli to offload him. Koulibaly is a very, very good centre-half. He's 28 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. Koulibaly, of course, has not yet, you know, played in the Premier League. I think now he's into his 6th season with Napoli. Of course, Napoli selling him, you know, they'll make a profit on the player, because I think Napoli got him from next to nothing from Genk. Obviously, now before he was at Genk, you know, he was at Metz. So this is stemming from Italian sources saying, you know, Man United have allegedly, you know, agreed a deal to sign Koulibaly. So that's the latest news regarding that. But we've got a lot of centre-halves in the team, despite the fact that Chris Smalling did leave the club last summer. He went, obviously, you know, to Roma on loan. You know, we've obviously got Lindelof and Harry Maguire as our first choice centre-backs. We've got, you know, Phil Jones. He's one of the problematic players. We've got Rojo. We've got, obviously, Tuanzebe. He's injured, you know. So we have still got a lot of centre-halves in the team. But, yeah, I would be excited about Koulibaly coming in. But if we are to get him, like I said, it will not happen until the summer. And, you know, Solskjaer is already making plans for the summer transfer window. And we have got a lot of, you know, players on our agenda who we could go in for in the summer. I also, by the way, want to give you some news regarding Declan Rice. Now, I think I mentioned this on my video that I did yesterday. So, reportedly, Solskjaer had instructed a personal scout, you know, to go watch Declan Rice in action last Friday in West Ham's 1-0 defeat to Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. Now, we're not going to get Declan Rice in January. I'm very, very sceptical about it. But we're orchestrating on making a move for him in the summer. I do believe if we are to go in for him in the summer, he will cost us in the region of around £50 million. Now, reflecting back last summer, we went in for Declan Rice. I think quite a few other teams attracted their interest in the player. He is only 21 years of age, is Declan Rice, so he's very, very young. He's just turned 21 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. And Declan Rice is well Premier League proven. He initially learned his trade in the Premier League, and he's still plying his trade in the Premier League at the moment. I think he's cemented himself well in West Ham's midfield. I thought he did well under Pellegrini's guidance. Pellegrini, of course, got sacked from West Ham. And yeah, he's a good player. He's been at West Ham for several years, and he's obviously, you know, got a long-term contract with West Ham. He's under contract with them until 2024. Obviously, in total for West Ham at the moment, he has made 82 appearances in the Premier League, 91 appearances in all competitions. So in that aspect, the vast majority of his appearances have obviously now come in the Premier League. You know, Declan Rice, and he's also very, very tall. He's predominantly a defensive midfielder, and it will be beneficial if Man United could get a defensive midfielder in, because obviously, you know, quite clearly, Matic is a liability. And, you know, I've got so many element concerns about him. And, you know, Declan Rice obviously would be a much better solution. But there again, you know, he can also play as a centre-half. Before Declan Rice was at West Ham, don't forget he was at Chelsea. He was in Chelsea's youth academy for several years. But he never got into Chelsea's first team. So I think, you know, he joined, West Ham in 2014. So he's one of my summer targets, is Declan Rice. Also to James Maddison, he could be a summer target for Man United. I'm very sceptical that we'll get him in this January transfer window. Obviously, you know, Brendan Rodgers has had his overarching view on it all. And, you know, he says, you know, that, you know, he will not be sold in this January transfer window. Alan Shearer recently instructed James Maddison not to join Manchester United. But allegedly, you know, we've been long admirers of him, because allegedly we've been in for James Maddison since June of last year. Obviously, reports came out the other week saying that, you know, we was determined to offer around £45 million. Plus, we was willing to offer, you know, Jesse Lingard as part of the deal. But obviously, you know, that's not going to convince Leicester to offload him. But disregarding any kind of swap deal, James Maddison is going to cost us a substantial amount. I do believe, is this me estimating, I probably would cost us in the excess of around maybe 60, 70 million pounds, maybe even more. Because Leicester do know how much of an imperative player that James Maddison is, because James Maddison now is currently into his second season with Leicester. I think this season he's replicating, what he did in his debut season. James Maddison in total for Leicester has made 63 appearances in all competitions. Around 58 or 59 of his appearances have come in the Premier League, and he's only at the age of 23. James Maddison is predominantly an attacking midfielder, but he has played out wide quite a lot of times under Brendan Rodgers. Leicester did pay around £20 million for him from Norwich in the summer of 2018. So he could be another summer target, that Man United do go in for. But like I've said overall anyway, there is a lot of players on our agenda. So that's the latest, regarding the transfer news. I was also reading reports regarding Solskjaer yesterday, and I think it has been revealed how much Man United will have to pay to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And it did say, we'd only have to pay around £5 million to get rid of him. So obviously, we wouldn't have to pay nowhere near as much, as we did do to get rid of Jose Mourinho. I think it'd cost us £15 million less than what we paid to get rid of Mourinho, because I think we paid around £20 million to get rid of Jose Mourinho. But like I said, there's a lot of United fans that are demanding Solskjaer out. But obviously, the likes of Ed Woodward and our board have got different perceptions regarding Solskjaer, because obviously, they're determined to back him this January. They're also determined to back him in the summer. But like I said, I'm very sceptical we'll sack him at this present time. But I think, I'm very sceptical, that he will not see out his 3-year contract at the football club. Because when Solskjaer had been given the job permanently in March of last year, he signed a 3-year contract worth around £7.5 million a year. He got a massive increase in his wages. His wages are totally comparison to what wages he was on at Mould, because he was on like 400,000 a year at Mould, or was it under 400,000 a year at Mould? But like I've said, I think Solskjaer will still be here at this present time. I don't know if he will be here at the end of the season. Like I said, Man United have got ambitions, and we've got around 3 ambitions, and I think the FA Cup's an ambition to us. Obviously, it's a chance of us getting a silverware on the board, and Solskjaer recently spoken about the importance of us getting silverware on the board. Definitely, the top 4 is a priority for us, because we do want to get that top 4 this season. So in that aspect, we can get Champions League football secured. And you can also say that the Europa League is a priority for us again. Another chance of getting silverware on the board, and obviously that's another route to Champions League football for Man United. So, and the Carabao Cup, it's looking very, very unlikely now that we're going to win that, because I don't see Man United getting to the finals. So Solskjaer is aware that he's got many expectations to exceed in his second year at the football club. So I think we're going to analyse it at the end of the season, and if we have got some silverware on the board, and maybe we have got that top 4, then I do believe then the club will be determined to give Solskjaer another season. If at the end of the season we haven't got any silverware on the board, and we haven't got that top 4, then I think, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be sacked as Manchester United manager, definitely. But like I've said, he is not the long-term solution for the football club. He isn't the long-term solution. I think, with Solskjaer being a club legend, I think in that aspect, the board are softening their stance on him, because we are aware that he was a great player for Man United for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance in that. But obviously, my perception is different on him as a manager, than what he was as a player. Because I think as a manager, he's totally a comparison to how he was as a player. So he was as a player. But I think, disregarding him, being a club legend, Solskjaer, probably would have been sacked by now. And Solskjaer not too long ago came out and said, he expects Man United to have a successful 2020. So he expects us to enjoy a better year this year than what we saw last year. Because for the vast majority of last year, we was very, very poor. Solskjaer has been at Man United now for 13 months. So he's been at the club over the year. He's been permanent manager for 10 months now as Solskjaer. And analysing the vast majority of that 10 months, it's been poor. Totally comparison, to when he first came in. Because when he first came in as the interim manager, after the dismissal of Jose Mourinho in December 2018, he did really, really well. And he was the interim manager for 3 months. But in that 3-month period, I've got to say, we got a glimpse of the Alex Ferguson era. The results were good, the performances were good, and Solskjaer exceeded expectations. But I think one of the mistakes the club did make was giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job, definitely in that. But, due to our inconsistency, like I've said, not all of the blame stems there from Solskjaer. I think everyone else needs to take responsibility. I think we need to see a variety of changes at the club. I think we need a change of management. We need a change of board because quite clearly our board of reliability. I think we need a new, vice chairman in because I don't like Ed Woodward. I think we need to get him out. Our fans were protesting in our 4-0 win against Norwich. To get, they were protesting Ed Woodward and the Glazers. So Man United fans, vast majority of them at least, do want them out. I think we need coaching staff. There's still more players that need to leave Manchester United, by the way. I still think this year we need to get rid of around 6 or 7 players. So obviously now that it's looking like Fernandes and that's coming in, we're determined to get rid of players. Because I said if we couldn't make any signings in this January transfer window, then maybe Solskjaer then will not be determined to let many players go and that. But yeah, we've got to get rid of some players, definitely. It was also a shame last summer that we didn't get a director of footballing, because I did say, didn't I, that's one of the structural changes that we do need at the football club. But Solskjaer's, by the way, give us an update on our title ambitions for next season, and he still feels as though that Man United will not mount any title challenge up next season because it's going to take a long rebuilding process. And like I've said, we're not going to win the league for several years. Are we ever going to win it again? And these question marks regarding that, but we're not going to win it for several years. Because we're not good enough to win it at the moment. Because obviously, analysing it at the moment, City strides ahead of us, Liverpool are strides ahead of us. So I think going on into next season, my expectations probably will be to finish probably in the top 4 next season. And it's that replicates the expectations at the start of this season. Because at the start of this season, my expectations, would have been to finish in that top 4. And, we are definitely in that top 4 race. Because, we are only 5 points behind Chelsea. But, like I've said to you guys on my other videos, there's aspects of me, that do credit Solskjaer and that, he's did well in that 3-month period. He's a club legend, he's got a lot of faith in his young upcoming players and that. And, there is a lot of young players in the squad that are developing and trying to improve. I've got some element of concerns about some of the young players, but I think a lot of them, will become a success. And, we've had a lot of injuries this season, don't forget as well, and we have still got injuries now, but that's not excusable, for how inconsistent, Man United have been in that. Now, that's no excuse, but there's some aspects of me that, that I've got I've got some element of concerns about Solskjaer. He's been tactically naive for the vast majority of this season. Doesn't really seem to have a plan B, and they're my element of concerns about him and that. But yeah, we will keep him for this present time. But yeah, so like I've said to you, I think the players that do need to leave Manchester United. I think definitely not. Ashley Young is one of the players that does need to leave the club. I give you an update, didn't I, regarding Ashley Young yesterday. I give you a bit more additional information. Inter Milan still remain interested in Ashley Young. Inter Milan have been in talks with Man United over signing Ashley Young. Reportedly now, Crystal Palace, Lazio and his former club Aston Villa have also, been interested in him. But we are reluctant to let Ashley Young go in this January transfer window. I think the explanation for it is reflecting on the injuries we've got. So basically, we're seeing Ashley Young for a cover-up. I think if he's to leave, he'll leave this summer when his current contract does expire. Because we recently offered Young a new one-year extension, but Young had turned this new one-year extension down. Young signed a new one-year extension in February of last year. But Young was our first choice right back last season. This was before the arrival of Wan-Bissaka. But now, since the arrival of Wan-Bissaka, he's established himself as our first choice right back. So he's our preference over Ashley Young. And of course, Young isn't going to be playing in the game tonight against Wolves in the FA Cup third round replay. I think he's had some kind of injuries, Ashley Young, but Young is now into his 9th season at Manchester United. He has enjoyed years here, so he's been a long-serving player for the club. Young has made 261 appearances in all competitions, and I think he's played around 18 games so far this season. And Ashley Young is our current captain. But Young is now 34, he's 35 nearly, so you can say he has passed his sell-by date at the football club. When he was younger, he was predominantly a winger, but as he was developing more, he got transformed into a formidable fullback. But, it would be beneficial to cash in for him in this January window, even though we won't get a substantial amount for him, but we'd get something, I think, at least. But I think he'll go on a free transfer at the end of the season. So I said, didn't I, yesterday, if Young is to leave the club, I think, we need to, name Harry Maguire as our permanent captain. Because, like I've said, I think Harry Maguire shows great leadership. His defence, he is, he's got great potential. His distribution's very, very good. So that's, who I would consider, giving the captaincy. So I think we need to get rid of Phil Jones because, he's another one of the problematic players. He's been a long-serving player here. Jones is now into his 9th season at Manchester United. So he's been here more or less the same amount of time as Ashley Young. Like I said, Rojo needs to go. Like I said, he could be part of the deal of Bruno Fernandes coming to Man United and him going to Sporting Lisbon. Jesse Lingard, I probably would get rid of him because he's also been very inconsistent for the vast majority of this season. He was dropped in the game against Norwich. Jesse Lingard obviously has been out with illness. But like I've said on my recent videos, reflecting on Jesse Lingard's status at the football club, also reflecting on the number of years he's been here, he should be putting much more better performances out. He should be performing, like, Rashford and Martial have been doing. Because obviously, he knows the club more than them because he's been at the club a lot longer than Rashford and Anthony Martial, even though Rashford has, been here a very, very long time. And Lingard is on, like, 100 grand a week. Or more. Chong, he's another one. I think we need to consider loaning Chong out because I don't think Chong is at that level as yet. I think we need to get rid of Matic, like I've said. So there's still a lot of players that need to leave Manchester United, but I would still be determined to keep players at the club. Like I said, keep Rashford. He's been in scintillating form this season. Keep Anthony Martial. Keep McTominay. I know he's damaged the ligaments in his knee and he's out until February, but I think before he sustained his injury, McTominay, I think he's actually done really, really well, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Keep Lindelof. I'd keep Lindelof, definitely. Luke Shaw, not too sure about him because obviously now Brandon Williams is our first choice left back, so I don't know about that. Yeah, but we need to get rid of more players, definitely. Yes, we do need to get rid of more players, but analysing it so far this season, we've done really, really well against elite opposition, mostly. But, we just haven't really replicated that against lower opposition. That's an element of concern. So we've beaten some lower opposition teams, but we need to start beating them more regularly in that. And then maybe, we could get somewhere. Next league game's Liverpool away on Sunday. Preview for that will be coming up later on this week. It's going to be a very, very difficult game. Is Liverpool, but we're going to have to obviously focus on the game tonight against Wolves in the FA Cup third round. You've already seen my preview and my reaction to his press conference. You know, Solskjaer has not yet beaten Wolves as a manager. You know, since Wolves come up to the top flight in 2018, you know, we have not managed to beat them. But I think in this game tonight, you know, against Wolves, Solskjaer, you know, will make changes. He will make changes from the 4-0 win against Norwich. He'll rest some key players because he's aware that Liverpool is on the horizon. I think Mason Greenwood will start tonight because I think Martial and Rashford could be rested. Bay isn't playing tonight, but he could be back for Liverpool. Solskjaer provided us with an update. He says that he arranged a reserve game for Man United yesterday, and he says Bay would have been participating in it. He played for the under-23s last Friday, so too did Fosu Mensah, so they are both close to returning. Bay's been out for the entirety of the season with a knee injury, and so too Fosu Mensah has been out with a knee injury. So yeah, so anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.